everyone. It's so good to have you here today on this beautiful September fall day. And we appreciate you tuning in. We have a wonderful guest today. Joni Reed is with us from Crossroads, and she has a recovery home for women in Richmond. And we're going to be talking about her pathway and what she's done, her journey, and Crossroads. And it's exciting because with having the House of Ruth, we have done things together, and it's just exciting to see success stories and know what's going on, and having the options and the recovery centers that we have around here that a lot of people don't know about. So we're going to talk about that today. And I want to let everybody know this is National Recovery Month. September is, and we have so much going on in the community. Even in Liberty, they have things going on that Joni's going to talk to us about. And here in Connorsville, we have every weekend there's something going on until the end of September. And one thing that I want to let you know about is September 17th. It's a Saturday. We're going to have a boot drive for the House of Ruth. And if you get the opportunity to, we'll be at 6th and Central, 6th and Grand, and 24th and Grand. So anyone that, if you think about us, drive through, donate what you can, we really appreciate it. It all goes to the House of Ruth. And then on September 24th, we are having our first annual Recovery Festival. And we have so much going on. There's going to be bounce houses for the kids, food, entertainment. We're having a karaoke contest, which I'm so excited about. Bill Mullen, he is from Kansas City. He has a studio himself, and he is going to be one of the judges. Bobby Hayden Jr. is going to be one of the judges, and then we're going to have 3 more judges. There'll be trophies given, and there's no cost to join in on the contest on Saturday. It starts at noon, and you just have to be signed up an hour before you sing. And we're so excited about it. It's just going to be fun, you know, because there's a lot of people that enjoy singing, and this might put you out there a little bit. So, and then that evening at Elmhurst, we're doing the House of Ruth's annual fundraiser, and Dr. Douglas Bradburn will be our guest speaker, and it's $10 a ticket. There's sponsorships available, anything that you want to help with, and there again, all the proceeds from both will be going to the House of Ruth. That's what helps us keep going and keeps the House of Ruth operating, and we're going on, gosh, it seems impossible, but it'll be 13 years in April that we've been going. Wow. So we're totally blessed, and God has definitely opened so many doors for us. But we want to welcome everybody. In the Recovery Festival, we have vendor booths available. Anyone that would like to participate in it, we would love to have you. Education, crafts, anything that you do. And the Hidden in Plain Sight trailer will be there, and that's very educational for parents. This is totally family friendly, but the Hidden in Plain Sight trailer is definitely geared more towards parents, so they can actually see where youth hide drugs and stuff, and you don't realize the many containers and stuff that people can use. So anyone that would like to come, we would love. There's no cost to go through it, and but we just have a lot of stuff going on that day. Everyone is welcome, and don't forget, we have meetings going on in the community every night of the week. So I'm excited, and as I always say, as long as there's breath in your body, there's hope. Never give up on your kids. Never give up on your family. It may look dim and dreary at the time, but I'm telling you, if there's breath in there's body, there's hope. So now I want to introduce, I think I got everything. It's like cram it in there. But if you want to contact me in any way, you can contact me at the House of Ruth, 825-3333. And for any information, if you want a flyer, anything that you'd be interested in, we would love to talk to you. Love to have you that day. If you don't want to be a vendor or anything, just come and be a part of it. It's going to be a lot of fun. So now I would like to introduce Joni Reed. She is with me today, and she is the executive director of Crossroads
Recovery Center.
Yes, so it's so good to have you.
Thank you. I'm honored to be here.
You got a lot going on too.
Yes, yes.
So, and that's a good thing.
It's amazing all of the wonderful things that are going on in the recovery community in Fayette County as well as Wayne and Union County, just to see all the opportunities that are available for people that want to get well and get better. And I love to see people get involved.
And recovery's fun.
Yes.
That's what I was telling someone, because I know a lot of the ladies that I work with, because we do stuff all the time. We're playing ball this weekend in Brookville. We put a softball team together.
Yes.
I mean, we played basketball at Dribble Over Drugs. I mean, we go to outings, we go to movies, we visit places, things you do, things that, all around. So
I have
more
fun in recovery than I ever had out there in addiction.
A lot less worry.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about your journey.
So you were just talking about not giving up hope on people. I was one of those people that nearly everyone had given up hope on. I was 14 years old when I started using drugs, and my addiction spanned from 14 to 33 years old, and it is a progressive disease, and it gets worse and worse and worse. And I started out, just drinking a little and smoking marijuana, and I ended up a homeless IV meth addict. I was addicted to opiates for about 15 years, and I ended up on the streets with really no one or nowhere to turn. But it worked out because it was in that broken, desperate place that I got on my knees and I cried out to Jesus Christ, and I got into a personal relationship with Him, and I got saved in 2016. I didn't actually surrender my life. I made Him Savior, but I didn't make Him Lord of my life until October of 2017. And so at that time, really, God has just put me everywhere that I need to be. He's opened all the doors. He's had all the provision for me. So in 2018, I went to Crossroads Recovery Center. And
you were actually a resident.
I was a resident at Crossroads.
That's what's so neat.
And I went through the program, and I had been sober for a while before I got to Crossroads. I was in jail for a little while, and then I was out waiting for a bed to open up. And when I got to Crossroads, I found the support that I needed. And I think it's important for people to understand that people in that situation, we need support.
Yes.
The support of other people in recovery, the support of the community, and just having people around you that will pour into you and encourage you and tell you that you can do it, and then help you find the resources that you need to rebuild your life. My life was completely in shambles. I had nothing but the clothes on my back, and I had no relationships with my family. My children were estranged from me. And so I was able, to just follow Jesus and obey Him every day. Wake up, seek a relationship with Him, and obey the things that He told me to do. And so after that, everything just started falling into place. I graduated Crossroads. I got my children back. I got a good job and was able to get a home for me and my kids. And I just kept trying to give back to women that were in the same position that I was in, because I'm passionate about it, because I've been there and I know what it's like. And I think it's always good for us who have been through it to pour into the people who are going through it.
Absolutely.
And so I got married to my husband, Donald Reed, and him and I were doing the Celebrate Recovery meeting in Liberty. And we actually, how it came about that I became the director at Crossroads is a cool story. So I heard Tom and Wendy Cannon were leaving and going to another ministry, and they had been there a long time, about 8 years.
They were great.
Amazing. And so Donald suggested to me that I apply for the job. And you know how we so often do. I said, well, I'm not qualified to do that. I haven't been sober long enough. We haven't been married long enough.
Yeah.
You know, all the reasons why I couldn't. So I just said, well, let's pray about it and let's hear from the Lord if that's where He wants us to go and what He wants us to do. So I filled out the application and the resume, and I didn't send it in, and I just prayed. And a couple of weeks later, Wendy came and found me, and she said, have you heard that we're leaving? And I said, yeah, I heard. And she said, well, we've been praying, and the Lord laid you and Donald's names on the heart of the board members that were praying. And I just thought, wow, God,
Yeah.
that's amazing.
Yeah.
So He really opened that door,
Yeah.
and it's the perfect job. I'm not qualified, but God called me, and so He qualifies me and gives me what I need every day.
Who He
Yes,
who
He
He
does.
calls for
Yes.
sure. You're qualified through Him for
Yes.
sure. And what the thing about it is, and this is so true, and you know this as well as I do, because like you said, the support from your family, the support from the community. Now you can support those women the way that you know they need to be supported.
Yeah.
And so many times that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Had I not been through the things that I had went through, I'm like you. I couldn't support these women the way they need to be supported. I couldn't love them the way that I do, you know.
Yeah.
But go through,
Yeah.
as they were saying, walk a mile in my shoes,
Yes.
it can make a big difference.
Well, I mean, it's rare that I see a situation that I haven't been in myself.
Yeah.
And even when somebody's doing something that, you know, we might not think is right, it gives us a new understanding of grace, because I know
Yeah.
the grace and the mercy that God showed me. And so it makes it so much easier to share it with others when you know that it's been given to you. You know, and the Bible says, you know, freely you've been given, so freely give. I mean, we're blessed to be a blessing to others, and that's the whole point of it all. And you know, it's not about me anymore. It's about Him and building His kingdom and helping people find their way out of the darkness and find out how amazing Jesus Christ is.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And you know, the thing about it is, and there's so much that is going on for recovery. I can remember years ago, we didn't have all this.
No.
This was not around. And now that well, and the epidemic, it's definitely an epidemic of drugs, has caused people to have to do something. It's not something we can say, oh, you know, it'll go away. It's not going to go away. I mean, facts, statistics, you know, scientific facts, it's getting worse.
Yeah.
I mean, you can watch the news, you go to, you know, trainings, you go to conferences, you go, it's not getting better.
Yeah.
And there's I think people are now coming to realize, you know, it's like we got to do something.
Yeah.
And that's where God places you and I, you know, because I want the people that no one else wants.
Yes, absolutely.
You know,
Yeah.
that's what it's about.
And then see Him transform from people that nobody wants into these beautiful,
Yes.
prosperous, amazing
Yes.
women, and know that was in there the whole time.
Yeah.
They just needed someone to love them through
Yeah.
it and support them through it.
Do you do before and after pictures?
I don't, but
Don't you?
that's a great idea. We do videos
Yeah.
when the ladies graduate, so we take pictures through their whole
Yeah.
entire journey and
Yeah.
then kind of compile a video.
Yeah.
So.
I know some of them because the transformation that they see, you know, they'll be like, I want a before and after picture. So like, and I'm like, I'll go to the very first one that I took, but my husband always says, you need to do them when the first day they come in your office, you need to do a picture. And some of them, I mean, it's just amazing. And then when they graduate, it's like, they can't even believe that that's them. And they'll even say, I can't believe that I thought I looked good.
Yeah.
You know, they're rocking it, you know,
Yeah.
thinking, I look so good. And it's like, oh my gosh, you know.
It has such a devastating effect on every part of
Yeah.
our lives. So
Yeah, your whole being.
yeah.
It makes, and you know, and you were talking about getting your kids back, and I'm working with women, And that is so hard. That is so hard. Because I watch these ladies, and I've had people say before, well, if they love their kids, it has nothing to
It
do
absolutely
with the
doesn't.
love. People have to understand that when you're in active addiction, that drug is running you. It's not
Yeah.
your emotions. It's not your, self-will. It's not, that drug is running you.
And I've heard a lot of times people say that people are choosing drugs over their children, and when I lost my kids, and they were taken by DCS, and with good right, I thought that. Like, I felt that way. Like, if I couldn't stop, then I was choosing these drugs over my children. But I really didn't have the power
Yeah.
to stop myself. And so it just fed into the shame and the guilt and the self-loathing,
Yeah.
which just heightened my need for drugs. And so having them find a way out of that and being able to forgive themselves and realize that it's not them, that they do love their children, that they are good mothers, and to see somebody come through that and to get on the other side of it and be recovered and become the mothers that we always knew that they could be and knew that they are, it's an amazing thing to see. Everybody believed I was a bad mom because I chose drugs over my kids, and I believed it myself. But when I was able to stop using drugs through really just through a relationship with Jesus, he gave me the power to do that, and then to learn that I wasn't a bad mother. I always loved my kids, but it had just taken over my life, and I wasn't able to be the mother that I was meant to be because it was destroying every part of who I was. And to see women get their children back and to see those families restored and to see the change, I think this is the part that I didn't expect. I knew that, we were going to see women's lives transformed and just the blessing of seeing that happen. But to see the children and the transformation that happens in them when they get restored to their moms and in a loving, caring environment, and then just to see the peace and the joy that they have. I didn't anticipate that, but it has been the most rewarding part of what I do.
I had, excuse me. I had this one little boy one time, broke my heart. It broke my heart, but it made me happy. It was, if that makes sense. But his mom was doing wonderful. And we had a birthday party. I think it was for her, actually. And I can remember him coming up to me and hugging me. They call me Miss Sharon.
Yeah.
And he walked up to me and he hugged me. And I'll never forget it. He said, "Thank you for giving me my mommy back." I mean, out of the blue. Oh. You talk about, I'm like, oh my God.
It's gonna make me cry.
I know. It's like, oh my gosh. And to watch them. And it's like you said, it's not that they're bad mothers. And I've always said this because we make bad choices. I mean, everybody does. Some worse than others, but it's all bad choices. But when you see that restoration and you see the things and the mothers, the support. I have women that come in, and I'm sure you do, they didn't have a mom.
Absolutely.
Lots of their moms was in addiction.
Yes.
They didn't have the support of a husband. Some of them were single moms, and they were doing the best they could. Yes, they got on drugs, but they were trying to do the best they could with what they had in the circumstances they were in.
Yes.
And I always tell people, when, and like you said, when they come in, because DCS lots of times is involved, or an ex-husband or grandparents or something, and it's like it's tough, and you have to go through all the hurdles. But once a mother, there's nothing like that love.
Yeah.
And that child forgives.
Yes.
If people could forgive like that child does.
Yeah.
But, and I always tell the moms, though, one thing that I do say, because once they do get clean and they're sober and they're learning, and, I said, you just have to be careful, because those little tender hearts, you don't want to break them every time.
Yes.
So I always encourage you, make sure, that you're ready for this. And lots of times, the transformation, though, is just unbelievable. unbelievable.
And what better gift can
Unbelievable.
we give a child than a well mother?
A well mother. Yeah. And lots of times people say, you just need to come and get your kids. Let the mom heal.
Yes.
Let her do some healing. Because sometimes the hurt they're going through, it's not from their drug use. It's from stuff that happened as a child.
Yeah.
It's I always call it
deep.
the root. It's a lot deeper than just drug addiction.
Yes.
There's an underlying issue.
Trauma.
Trauma's PTSD.
Huge.
There's so much that goes into drug use. It's not just, women don't just wake up and say, I think I'll lose my kids today. I think I'll lose my family. I think I'll just lose my job, my home. That's not how that it begins.
Nobody chooses that
No.
life.
No. No. But sometimes it's taken, because of our choices. But I love watching the women. I do. I do. It's, to me, and people ask me all the time, it's not a job. It really doesn't feel like a job. I mean, I want to go in there. I want to instill in them. I want to teach them. I want to train them. We help them, and I'm sure you guys do too, GEDs, education, jobs.
Yeah.
It's real life stuff.
Yes. So giving them the tools, I mean, I think part of it, there's a spiritual component.
Yes.
Then we, address emotional things like the trauma that we spoke of, and, trying to work through those and heal from those, and kind of, a lot of the times they've just been stuffed away. And so kind of bringing those to the light. And then we have to give them practical tools. Like you said, getting their GED or helping them, find a good job, or getting their driver's license back, teaching them the skills to be a good parent when they get their kids back. Like, these are all practical things that they're going to need to know. And so you have to really look at the whole person.
And we take that for granted sometimes.
Yeah.
It's like, wow, just showing them what they can do with themselves. I have a lady in the house, got her driver's license yesterday, hasn't had him in 20 years, thought she would never get him again.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's just like having a party.
Yes.
It's like, yes, you did it.
Because so many times there's mindsets that I can't do that because I've failed so many times before, and then you just quit trying because you think you can't succeed. But, when you've got somebody behind you saying, you can do this, you can do this.
Yeah. She had 4 pages of traffic violation.
Oh, my goodness.
I laughed. I said, oh, my. That was one of them, Lord, you're going to have to help with this one,
Absolutely.
So, 20 years, and she literally went and got her SR22 and
well, that's amazing. Congratulations.
Yeah, that's God.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
That's a prayer answered, because here she is, and she's in college. She's went back to college, and I just I just love watching that. So tell us a little bit about your program then. So how do people get a hold of you? How do they get into your program? What's the process?
So Crossroads is a 4-month faith-based recovery center, and it is free for women to come. We don't bill insurance. We don't charge them any money. We also offer a 6-month transitional program once they finish the 4-month program. So they can stay total up to 10 months if they choose to. The intake process is pretty simple. They just call me. My cell phone number is 765-993-6765, and I can do an intake appointment with them over the telephone. If somebody's incarcerated and they're interested, they can either call, or I can send them an application through the mail. I would just need their name and where they're in jail at. Just however they want to do it. Yeah.
So, are you funded by grants or churches, private?
We do. We get we get a grant from Reed, Community Benefit, which pays for us to have a part-time case manager that does counseling and things. The women get one-on-one counseling while they're there. But mostly, we are funded by donations from churches and individuals. And that sort of thing. So it's pretty amazing. We like to, be able to talk about Jesus as much as we want there, and so that's very important to us. And it's amazing the way the community really pitches in to make Crossroad possible for people.
That support
means
a lot. That's how a lot of how the House of Ruth is funded too.
And it's not just monetary, but the prayers that go up and the covering. I mean, I believe that the power of people that are praying, a lot of them, just secretly praying every day,
absolutely.
lifting us up in prayer, and it's changing lives.
And you just had a renovation, didn't you, that someone paid for?
Yeah, so at Hillcrest Baptist Church paid to renovate our main TV meeting room and space. So it was pretty dated.
Yeah.
I don't think it had been renovated for 20 years. So it's updated now, and it looks amazing. And they're a wonderful supporter of Crossroads and have been since the very beginning. Crossroads been open since 2010. And so they've been there right from the very start. So we appreciate
They opened
them.
the same year we did, 2010.
Yeah.
Isn't that something?
Yes, it's amazing.
Yeah,
It's
it is.
amazing.
It is. God is good. For sure. And you and your husband. Now, does Donald, what does he do?
Donald, yeah, we run it together. So he's the director as well. He does have a full-time job as well at a construction company, and then he comes and uses his construction skills at Crossroads to help with the renovations, and and then he does a lot in the evenings when he's not at work. So he takes the women to meetings and just does a lot for fundraising and behind the scenes. He's a very important.
Oh, yeah.
does a lot for us.
Yes. We love it when you guys come down to our CR and stuff. It's great seeing you guys.
Yes.
That's exactly how Russell is, my husband. I couldn't do this without him.
That's exactly right.
I couldn't.
It's a team effort.
It sure is. I tell people that all the time. What's Russell do? I said everything.
Yes.
And I mean, he's my go-to man. It's like, Russell, help.
Every time I don't have time to do something, I just call Donald, and he's always helping me out.
Yeah, and that's how and he'll just drop what he's doing. He's amazing.
And the emotional support, you know, and just you can't put a price on that.
We're definitely blessed.
Yes.
We're definitely blessed.
He's been very busy this week with the Celebrate Hope,
the revival
stuff. So
yeah.
We are having a revival at the courthouse lawn in Liberty. There's a tent set up there, and so it began last night, and it will be every night until Saturday, and then we're having church service there. The River of Life is on Sunday, so the tent will be set up until Sunday. But there's a revival every night at 7 p.m. I think Derek Harrison is speaking tonight from Better Days. I will be speaking tomorrow night, and then Mike Horning is speaking on Saturday night. And then the Celebrate Hope event is actually on the day of Saturday from 1 to 6 p.m. And there's going to be live music. There's bounce houses for the kids. There's food. There's going to be a ton of stuff. There's going to be tables set up. Different organizations are setting up information tables, and it's going to be a blast.
Yeah,
we
did one year.
I love to get together in recovery and just, have fun, because we didn't get sober to be miserable.
Yeah, no, not at all. Not at all. Well, it's been so good to have you.
Yes, it's been a pleasure.
It has been great. We don't get to see each other a lot because we're very busy.
Yes.
But when we get an opportunity, maybe we can get over there one day this week or Saturday.
It's wonderful to see the women from the House of Ruth and the women from Crossroads come together, and it's always a blessing to see.
Always, always. Well, thank you for joining us, and this has been a great episode of Recovery in Action, because I love it when people can get together and come together and talk about Christ and the fun and the good things that's happening. God bless you, and thank you for joining us.